fancy intro music. Yeah! Woo!
Hey Star Trek Fleet Command fans, welcome back to the channel, and I wanted to take a look at a part of the game that I feel like is very important, not only for today, but in general. And the reason it's important for today is some of the events that we have currently going on, which are these Officer Recruit SMS events. And if you haven't seen them, well, let me just throw them on the screen real quick. We've got the Can't Bear It Anymore SMS, which is cute, but particularly looking at the Recruit Officer, which was a 2-day event where you had to go through and get Borg mining officers for bonus points, or just get any officers for various points, or promote them to then score and get more event store currency and trade XP, which is huge because 3,000 is like 3 days worth of my away team's daily goal. So that's freaking great reward. But when it comes to recruiting, there's always this thought, do I spend my tokens or do I save them? And for a very, very long time, myself and a lot of other content creators have said, save them for different missions, different events, things that are going on. Now, me saying what I'm about to say, let me just go ahead and preface, I have no forward knowledge of what the events are a month from now, 2 months from now, 6 months from now. So if these change, then this video just is going to sound as dumb as the chicken costume that I'm currently wearing. However, I believe you should not be saving except for specific things, and I want to talk about what those specific things are. Now, if you are curious about officers and want to know more about them in depth, I want to give another just invitation to the Discord page. Please join it if you would like to see more about officers, ask questions, because it's more than just me that's out there that knows a lot about these things. So I want you to come check it out. But what I really want to talk about when it comes to officers and sourcing officers is how can you be efficient in what you're doing? Because here's the tricky part. If you save for big events, like leaderboards that might ask you to spend officers, or, you know, big SMS, that forces you to withhold a lot of your unlocking and your credits. What I mean by that, like, look at the stash I have. I have a premium recruit stash of 43,000. That's quite a bit of premium considering that they pull at 1,500 a rep. Now, at the same time, I had, going into the stream last night, 23,000 ultras after y'all saw a month and a half ago, I did a video pulling like 70, 80,000 of ultras. And the more I've been going through this the past couple of months, the more I'm changing my paradigm when it comes to no matter what level player you are, you need to be pulling officers basically as often as possible. But if you want to be efficient, the type of events you should be waiting for are not the main events. And what I mean by main events, I mean by things right in here. These events, don't wait for the recruit officers SMS. And if you're going to, save only ultra tokens. Don't save premiums, don't save faction ones. Let me talk to you about the logic of where I'm going for here. And you can even change this up a little bit to fit your style, where maybe you don't save the ultras, but you save some faction ones, because like this says in the description, you can use it to unlock any officer, but you're simply going to get less points. Where right now we have a deal running on in the faction store, in the officer tab, where you've got a ×2 KVR chance, which is the Klingon versus Romulan officers that are out now, and it's running for a limited time, 6 more days. Now, why is that important? Well, because it's going to give you the best chance to actually score points in that event. So you want to have some ultras to be able to pull that. Hell, let's pull some right now, 4,000 together here on stream. I don't even mind. We're going to skip it, see if we get any. Oh, we got a full pull of, okay, I'll take that. A Curon full pull. I'll actually take that. Yeah, actually pretty happy. Wow. Of all the things, me getting a full pull is not what I expected in today's stream or video, because this isn't a stream. Okay, Rev happy. Cool. All right, so I did that and I got a Klingon officer and I got a full pull of it. So that's fantastic. But if you look at the type of events that you really should be focusing on, and I've talked about this maybe, gosh, when was this? Probably a month or two ago, maybe 2 or 3 months ago now. The daily events, the ones that run on an 11-day schedule that most people forget about. If you want to spend efficiently while still spending your officer tokens regularly, look at these style events. These run on, and we can put this website back in the description if you need it. There are a couple people who have stuff like this. I think Steven Aarons has got a good one too, where you can see we just came off an officer recruit event. There's the payouts depending on your level and everything. If you click on it, you see the payouts of what they'll pay out. But right now we're running ship events, but tomorrow, the 26th of January, and you got a little timer up here so you know when the next reset is. So for me, I've got a heroic recruit event tomorrow that will pay out ship parts and titanium. And then I've got an officer XP event. But the recruit events where I would want to say, hey, let's go ahead and spend some of these recruits. Let's finish this event every time it comes around. And then we've got a recruit leaderboard event, which is going to give you some of the rares and stuff and more latinum. And then you've got the double events where you've got a leaderboard for XP and then a heroic recruit. And then you'll have the big day on day 7 where we've got a bunch of them all throughout the day. So just in general, I would say that our focus needs to shift from going to saving, just waiting for these magical events to happen. And what I mean by magical events, I mean, there were times where we would save ultras and these events would come around. There were times 2 events that scored events as well as gave us a better chance of unlocking something. But right now, those really aren't happening. We don't really get those right now. And we haven't consistently gotten those type of officer events in quite some time. So if you're a player at level 19, what's the point of you saving these premiums and these ultras? Spend them, get what you need. And if you want to do that, then save it simply for the events that we showed on the screen, the daily events. And have you a little stash for when an SMS type event comes around. That way you can actually contribute to it. But I'm getting to the point where, look, I've been sitting on things like a tier 3 Marcus for too long. And I'm too high a level of a player now to be having that. Spend your tokens, upgrade your officers, use that to get the XP you need, use that to get the credits you need, or I'm sorry, the transporter patterns you need to get better officers. All of this is simply something that, look, you can be efficient in the game, but I've talked about it before. Sometimes our quest for efficiency makes us inefficient. And the quest to have the perfect setup and the perfect saving on everything typically can mean you start getting left behind and left out. And, you know, even the officers that I'm pulling now, look at me pulling things like Mud shards and Mitchell shards and Merrick shards. Merrick being a huge officer. We haven't talked enough recently about how important anti-faction officers are in the game. Yet you can see mine is still at only tier 4, not even maxed out because I've been saving these type of credits. And it's about time to actually start diving in and spending them, keeping a smaller stash for when small events come around, and then using those to get little bits of return for our investment, but simply focusing on we've got to upgrade officers. That way we can actually go through this process and get what we need and continue to grow. And there are some things that I don't need, but like, look, I just got another 10 of 11. I'm almost ready to take 10 of 11 to another level, which means more stats, which is going to help me on that away team mission that I focus on so much. And this is with me having over 40,000. I'm just pulling these as I'm talking to you to kind of build into your brain. Look at what I'm getting and what you should be doing too, because I'm also getting 825 transporter patterns. Look, Zhao is almost ready to go to the next level. I've been waiting forever to get that done, but since I've been sitting on these, how many officers I've been waiting to upgrade that I simply can't, that I could have used in earlier levels because I'm sitting on these stashes of these officers. And you just get to a point where, look, efficiency in this game is important, but you need to go ahead and get what you need to get. Don't wait forever. And then, hey, I think I just full pulled a Barrett because I got 3,000, but don't wait until forever to do this. And the same logic applies to your Federation, Klingon, and Romulan recruits. And I've actually talked about this before, but if you're a lower level player, you're new to the game, server 75, 63, whatever, spend these. Don't just sit on them forever. If you're going to have a small stash, make that small stash your ultras, maybe your premiums. But look, Federation recruits, no reason that you shouldn't have at least Spock, Bones, or Hura maxed out. And when they come around, spend them. What's it hurting? Go ahead and blow these out. And these could be the ones that you spend to get those daily events done. But hey, look, I just got 1,125 transporter patterns and 20,000 officer XP by pulling a full pull of that. Let's go to Klingons, where I'm sitting on 6,480. And you see, I've started pulling these more often. Hey, pull them. What's it going to hurt? Another 1,100 transporter patterns, working on getting my Gorkon max. And then let's come over here. 50,000 Romulans. What are we sitting on these for? I'm asking myself. You know, the quest for efficiency is smart. I get it. But at the end of the day, if you could get 1,350 transporter patterns instead of sitting on those, what's more important? Because just in the full, you know, the few pulls I've been doing today, I've gotten enough to go get more than 10 Marcus shards, which is the first thing I complained about in this video. And that's why I made that complaint. So that I could come by and like, look, all that complaining, here's 10 Marcus shards I just got by not waiting. And what's more valuable? And I want to go back to this event here on the screen real quick. And by the way, if you like this video, which I think is good advice, I think it's great advice, like it, looks like that. Smash that thumb button, subscribe if you haven't already. Let's go back to these events real quick. Now I'm gonna finish out and let's talk about rewards of events, even when officers become the rewards of events. So let's just say we go look at these various things like, hey, we need the Talon Darsec, we need that. We go over to the Pipe Road Chin Hostile Hunt, which I'll be using. Cool, we need Talon Darsec. But look at what it's paying. What, 6,000, 8,000? Let's hop up to the event store. Let's scroll over to an epic like Jayla. 6,000 per shard. So rough math, I just pulled 60,000 Marcus shards because I pulled 10 of them. 60,000 in event store currency worth of markets. So you see the value there? Like we talk about waiting. Are the events actually paying you out enough to even justify saving for them? Does that make sense? Like if I'm able to spend my tokens and then just go and use transporter patterns, maybe transporter patterns is the way to go. We already kind of knew that, but now we're just getting that. I'm planting it firmly in your mind. Stop saving 100,000, 200,000 ultra recruits. What are you saving those for? What event is coming around that literally lets you dominate consistently? I'm not saying the events don't exist, but what event comes around consistently allowing you to take advantage of that? So if you're out there curious, should you be spending your officer tokens or not? Answer is yes. Maybe give you a small stockpile, but you need to be unlocking these officers and leveling them up as much as possible. And before anybody asks, where do I get officer XP? Let me give you 2 places. If you are a lower level player wanting to grind for officer XP, syndicate systems, I'm sorry, not syndicate, the separatist systems like Franchique, Koran, Earthak, I'm sorry, could be Koran, Earthak, these 3. Or you can go do the versions run under Asuri, Castina in ROM space, or you come over to Federation space in, Radabon, Paralon, etc. And if you're a higher level player, Taigo Core. So 2 places to grind out officer XP. Those seem to have better drops there. Hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you found it helpful. If you did, really appreciate it. Like I said before, smashing that like button. Live long and prosper. Stay safe with our Space Cowboys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And we will catch you in the next video where we will be helping you. And remember, tomorrow we're live twice. Once on Twitch, once on YouTube. So check those out too. Deuces, that's me. Chicken out.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.